as empaths, we already feel and experience so much because we tend to pick up beliefs and feelings and imprints from all these people all around us if we're not really protecting ourselves. And shadow work is a powerful process to not only help yourself work through your own shadow aspects, but also help you work through anything that you picked up from other people. Because all these shadow aspects, your own and the things that you're picking up from other people, they can lead to emotional overload. Because as empaths, we're already feeling so much. We're experiencing negative beliefs and feelings more intensely than other people. And if we are dealing with our own shadow aspects, or if we're not really using shadow work to deal with those shadow aspects, and then on top of that, we're also picking up all these different beliefs and imprints and fears from other people, that can then lead to emotional overload. And in this video, I want to share with you how empaths can benefit from using shadow work to prevent and overcome any emotional overload. Now, the first and most important aspect here is you actually want to recognize whenever you're experiencing emotional overload. And here, some of those signs are that you're always feeling quite drained, very fatigued, very exhausted. You're feeling constantly drained, especially when you're around a lot of people or around specific people. You may actually also have difficulties distinguishing what is yours and what is actually stuff that you're picking up from other people. And you can actually pick up stuff from other people even though there's no one around, because you can actually pick up from the collective shadow aspects, like on a collective level, all these negative things that are kind of going around, you can even pick up from that as well. So if you're having a hard time distinguishing what is yours and what is stuff that you're picking up, that can also lead to that emotional overload. And that's what's so important, that you learn how to recognize whenever you're feeling not okay, because whenever you're feeling not okay, that's usually the sign that there's something out of balance, there's something going on. Because as empaths, we have the heightened sensitivity, so we're feeling so much, we're picking up so much. So becoming aware is really the first and most important step here, is really developing that awareness and recognizing whenever you are experiencing that emotional overload. But ideally, you actually want to do the work before you're experiencing emotional overload, because then it's going to be more intense if you're waiting until you're already experiencing emotional overload. So with this video, it's really my intention to educate you, to give you the awareness so you can do the work before it's then too late that you are experiencing that emotional overload, because there can be many triggers for this emotional overload. This can be by you being in crowded places, and I'm pretty sure if you're an empath, you're probably already avoiding these kind of places, but also being around toxic people, being around a lot of people, let's say in your workplace, for example, right? That also could cause you to pick up a lot of emotions from the people that you're working with. You could also be affected by cosmic events and also by a lack of boundaries. So these are just some things that I just want to touch on real quick, just to give the awareness of what you may want to look out for, because recognizing whenever you are experiencing emotional overload is really key here, so you can go further, you can do something about it. Awareness is always key. And the way shadow work can actually help with this is, well, with shadow work, you're actually taking time to uncover the shadow aspects from anger, frustration, fear, doubt, all of those limiting beliefs, the limiting aspects that you are experiencing. And like I said, as empath, you're actually experiencing them more intensely. And all of those shadow aspects then contribute to emotional overload. And when you're using shadow work, you can really uncover, for one, what is yours and also what is not yours. Because you want to really become aware of what's yours and what is not yours. If you're becoming aware of what is yours, you can then use shadow work to really work through your own shadow aspects. If it's not yours, then what you can do is you can do some clearing, some energetic clearing. And here is a simple process that you can use, is just using a clearing statement of really tuning into whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're determining that is not yours, and simply state the clearing statement of, I now clear and transmute this across all time, space, reality, lifetimes, and dimensions, past, present, future. And you're stating that with intention, really clearing that, really seeing it dissolve into the nothingness where it came from. You can also then revoke any permission, any agreements, any invitations that you're given consciously or unconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, to any outside source, any outside interference that is not to your highest and greatest good. And those two statements, the clearing statement and then the whole revoking statement, can help you really cleanse and clear anything that you're picking up from other people. But let's say the things that you are uncovering, they are yours. They are your own shadow aspects. Then what you want to do is you want to actually reflect and lean into the discomfort, because these things, these shadow aspects, they're there. Whether you want to or not, whether you're aware of them or not, they are there. And when you're becoming aware that you are maybe a little emotionally overloaded, a little overwhelmed or anything like that, by you actually leaning into that, by reflecting on it, for one, you want to kind of tune into like, okay, well, what is going on? What am I really feeling? Because if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed or overloaded, well, there can be a lot of things that play part in this, right? So you want to take somewhat of an emotional step back, but then lean into like, okay, what is going on here? What am I feeling? What is this bringing up within me? What are the deeper experiences, emotions, feelings, beliefs that are coming up, that are being stirred by this emotional overload? When you reflect on that, you can then become aware of like what's really at the root of this, and then you can then lean into that. And here there are a couple of things that you can do. You can actually do this in writing, like journaling about what you're experiencing. You can also do this like just sitting in silence, tuning in, kind of like in a meditative state, really just opening yourself up to uncover, well, what am I really feeling here? Contemplate about what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what is really beneath the surface. Once you have gotten some information, some insights around what that is, what is it that you're really feeling, then you want to move into the next step of really healing and transcending the shadow aspects. And the way you do this is also from an emotionally detached point of view, because you don't really want to get into the story. You don't want to get into why is this happening and what's attached to it. None of that. What you want to do is, once you've uncovered what's at the root of things, what is the core feeling here, you want to actually lean into that. Really connect with that feeling. Give yourself the time and space to actually feel it. And here I get it. You probably say, why would I want to do that? The reason why I'm suggesting for you to feel this, because the feeling is there. You can't just ignore it, because if you're just going to try to put it aside, ignore it, it doesn't go anywhere. It's still there. It's still just in the background, right? And it keeps playing out. It keeps making you feel not okay. And it keeps contributing to the whole emotional overwhelm, because the feelings are still there. So what you want to do is, by detaching from the story, because the story never matters. The story is what makes it look a certain way, right? It's like the packaging that makes it look a certain way, but the packaging never matters. I mean, if you ever get a present, you don't care about the packaging, right? You may rip it apart. Maybe you're taking it apart very nicely and fold it away. It's perfectly fine, but you don't care about the packaging. You care about what's inside the package, right? And that's the same thing with when it comes to shadow work. The story never matters. What you want to do is you want to tune into the emotion, the feeling behind whatever you're experiencing, and give yourself the time and space. Maybe set a timer for, let's say, 5-10 minutes, however intense you feel it is, and whatever time you think you need for that. And give yourself some time to just feel it. Really feel the emotion. Give it the time and space to acknowledge it without judgment, by the way. But acknowledge it like, okay, I see you, I hear you. What do you have to tell me? And by you leaning into that and feeling it, you're then actually opening yourself up to then uncover the gift, the lesson, and the message. Because every shadow, every dark side has an opposite, has a gift, has a lesson, has a message, has something good, right? Because there can't be bad without the good. There can't be darkness without the light. There can't be shadow without the gift. So by you giving the shadow, the feelings, the time and space to really lean into it without, like I said, connecting to the story, without judging yourself or without feeling bad about why you're feeling what you're feeling, then you're giving it the time and space to then reveal the gift. When the gift reveals itself, then you're at a point where you can then use the clearing statement once again to clear and transmute the feeling of whatever you felt. So here, as you're still connected, and you feel like, okay, now I have gotten the gift, then you stay tuned and you're like, okay, now I clear and transmute this across all time, space, reality, lifetimes, and dimensions, past, present, future. And here you may repeat this clearing statements a couple of times and really be intentional about really letting it dissolve into nothingness where it came from. Then once you've done that, the next step is you want to reflect on the gift. What did you really learn from this? What did you get out of this shadow work? What is the message behind the experience you just had, the negative experience, the shadow aspect? What is the gift here? Because there's always a gift, and you want to be grateful for that, the gift that it reveals itself, the message, the lesson, the gift, right? Because there's something that you were meant to take from that, learn from that. And then really be grateful for the gift that it revealed itself to you, and then contemplate about that. How can you apply this gift now in your life moving forward? How can you really integrate that gift? Because that's how you integrate your shadow, is by integrating the gift. You're uncovering the gift within the shadow. You're clearing and transmuting the shadow aspect, and then you're really integrating the gift by then taking different actions based on what you just learned about that gift of that shadow. Take those different steps, take the different actions, look at things differently, behave differently, whatever it is that you need to do. The gift will tell you what that next step is for you to really then transcend or integrate the gift and transcend the shadow. And this is how you as an empath can prevent or get out of emotional overload whenever you're experiencing. But it's really important to really become aware of what's yours and what is not. So whenever you're feeling something, that something is going on, tune in. Okay, is this mine? Yes or no? Okay, is this someone else's? Yes or no, right? And this becomes easier the more you do, the more you tune in and really allow yourself to become aware of it, right? The easier it will then be. And then if it is yours, then do the shadow work. If it's not yours, then do the clearing statement, do the revoking statement to really clear out anything that you picked up from other people. But here you may also then realize that some things that were other people actually became your own beliefs, became your own imprints, right? Became your own shadow aspects, because it's something that you really picked up. And this can even be something from earlier on in your life. But using shadow work can really help you prevent or then even also overcome emotional overload, especially if you're an empath, highly sensitive soul, and you are picking up a lot of those things. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know. Does this resonate with you? Have you maybe even used shadow work before to really help you with this emotional overload? Leave me a comment below. I would love to know. While you're at it, maybe even hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, if you are enjoying content around shadow work, because that's really what my channel is all about, is shadow work, inner healing, raising in consciousness and those type of things, really helping you become your own soul alchemist to really transform your life from the inside out. So if you haven't done so already, definitely subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But thank you so much for being here. Now, also be sure to check out these two videos here. One is about how to use journaling for deep inner shadow work, and another one is about how to use shadow work to overcome limiting beliefs. Two powerful videos that can help you even more. I think you're going to enjoy those. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant and joyful day. Namaste.